sports. We cover preps. We cover college. We cover pro. We cover it all. Huskies, Mariners, Seahawks, Garfield, South, Roosevelt, Metro, King County. This is what you want to listen to for all the sports that's happening in Seattle. Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Mga kaibigan, ito po si Kuya Bert Kawili.
And this is Miles Salvador from Australia.
And I'm Norb Kawili, also known as Norbcam.
Kung gusto niyo po ang latest news and events from the Philippines at the local Filipino community, Phil-Am Radio po.
We play Filipino music and interview guests from all around the world.
And I'll keep you updated on the latest Seahawks and sports news.
Kaya always tune in, Phil-Am Radio every Tuesday, 1 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
And in YouTube and Facebook. Salamat po.
Hey Seattle, here are some storage tips to love food, stop waste. Onions make potatoes sprout faster. Keep onions away from potatoes. Ripe bananas give off a gas that makes the fruit around them ripen faster. Store bananas away from other fruits. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money, save food, save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not cooking up a batch of my famous wood-flavored chicken, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Have you ever went over a friend's house to eat and the food just ain't no good?
The groove is on. I love that. Thank you, Daniel, for those smooth tunes. I love it. Y'all, this is Dr. Traci Harrell, and you're watching the Better Together Empowerment Series and the Living Powerfully Experience. This is being sponsored by the National Black MBA Association. This particular community initiative is actually Rainier Avenue Radio showing up for us in community, saying that they want to be a part of a true transformation. So today I'm giving you it all. I'm laying it all on the table, right? I'm talking about a group of 45 individuals in our community who have already launched step 1 in their process. Now, because we're just at day 2 of the process, we're going to give them a week to process, to digest as a community, and then bring some of their voices in starting next week. But what I wanted to do today is a couple of things. First, I want to take a little PQ moment. That's where we breathe. We allow ourselves to be completely mindful in the moment. That's what positive intelligence is really about. It's about how do we create the life of our dreams by using the power in our minds, our brains, our best assets. So we get to minimize the voices that might delay your progress. We get to optimize the voices that are focused on helping you to achieve your goals. And part of that is throughout the day, moment by moment, we get to slow down and be in the moment. Sometimes we kind of sleepwalk. You ever been driving somewhere and you like, I don't even remember driving. It's because it's just it just happens. What if you were truly present when you're with the people that you love in those moments? Relationships get stronger when people feel heard and seen, right? The work that you do will be much more effective when you're not kind of like sleeping through the process. And you know what I mean by that, right? We just sometimes coast. So we're in November the 13th. That's today's date, right? But we're here late in the year. And some people are thinking, you know what? We're going to just coast through the rest of the year. We got the holidays coming up, but I'm just going to coast. And consider this your challenge to not coast through the year. Consider this your challenge to say, you know what, for the next 6 weeks, next 12 weeks, there's a book called The 12-Week Year. And that is all about having the most successful year of your life in just 12 weeks. So basically, the title of the book is Do More in 12 Weeks Than Most People Do in 12 Months. So this is the how. It's about being very, very intentional. Not only every day, wake up with very clear goals, but like in these moments, just like this, where you're able to pause and slow down and truly be effective. This is what that's about. Now, just so we're clear, step 1 in this process is about knowing why you're here. Your purpose. Having a vision. That's what this is about. So I read an amazing book and saw this actually twice. So I feel like it was the universe telling me to focus. So, you guys know my company is called It's All Bigger Than Me, right? It's All Bigger Than Me Ministry. I started It's All Bigger Than Me Consulting. It's All Bigger Than Me Academy. It's All Bigger Than Me Institute. So it's all bigger than me, right? So that means I don't typically talk about my personal goals because it's bigger than me. But what I wanted to make sure you all are aware of, and this is because the books that I read were talking about connection before content. So I want to just share a little bit about what you were able to accomplish. if you are aligned to your purpose, this is what you're able to accomplish. The reason we call it the Better Together Empowerment Series is that you're not alone, number one. We have a community of people that are going to go on this journey together with you. So it's super exciting. And you get to decide what living powerfully actually means to you. So we call it the Living Powerfully experience because we say, hey, here's the information you need to truly thrive. Here's what it looks like. So for me, what living powerfully means and how I connect it to the Better Together Empowerment Series is I'm going to have a transformational journey for myself. And y'all, I'm going to put it into the street, so you got to stay with me here today. So when we think about what transformation actually looks like, it means whoever you were, whatever you were doing, if there was a gap between where you want to be and where you are today, we do something every day to close that gap. That's how you transform, right? You're also creating a new level of authenticity and honesty about where you really are, about where you really want to be, and what might really be holding you back. Are you with me? So as it relates to the Better Together Empowerment Series, this series is not at all just about professional development for individuals. It's not, right? The National Black MBA Association was founded back in 1970s, over 53 years ago, specifically focused on economic and intellectual empowerment. We believe that showing up in community with our gifts, giving away our gifts for free, that's what I'm doing here. That's what that's what we all do with the National Black MBA. It's a volunteer organization. So we show up and we offer gifts in community. My gift is helping people to transform. Now, I can admit there's some areas of my life that I'm still working on. That's because I'm human, right? And so I'm going to put my own personal transformation, again, right on Front Street. I don't get to hold back either. My challenges, but also the solutions that we know work. And the process that we're inviting each of you to be a part of today is about truly changing the status quo. Now, we started a series previously that was around achieving success in business and in life, right? We've had think tanks with hundreds of people involved in a single conversation around why are there challenges with equity and inclusion in business and in life? Why is that still a problem? When you have all the companies saying what they're going to do, why is it still a challenge? Why have we truly not made the successful advances that we would like to be able to talk about as it relates to success and truly changing the status quo? Oftentimes, it's because we really haven't created a new baseline agreement as to what success looks like. So for me, even though I'm taking individuals through this Living Powerfully experience, which is based on positive intelligence, so I'm taking people through positive intelligence, but it's not just for the purpose of helping individuals. I'm saying each of those individuals will also now influence positively everyone around them. If everyone in your ecosystem could be impacted by your transformation, wouldn't you jump at that? I'm talking about your children, your wives, your husband. I said wives, plural. You know what I mean? If you knew that you could actually influence the rest of your team, if you're like, we are kind of dysfunctional over here, we could probably use some help as it relates to team building, as it relates to building trust. We could probably use some help. Then this also is for you. So we have an organization called WEAR, the Washington Employers for Racial Equity. This is specifically to activate that community as well. All 80 to 100 of the top employers in the state of Washington said that they were committed to supporting Black business, Black wealth, Black Washingtonians, Black youth, and all people of color, right? But they did a disparity study and saw that the greatest disparities are in communities of people that look like me. So we're helping them as well to both showcase the work that they've been doing as well as amplify the progress And so again, positive intelligence is one of those solutions. This living powerfully experience, which includes transformational inclusive leadership, this also is one of the solutions. This is how we resolve to truly change the status quo. So I'll talk just a little bit about what has happened thus far. Over 1 million people have been engaged in positive intelligence. Not the way we're going to be doing it, because, I'm a little bit extra. So we're adding some extra. So we're starting with the foundations. So that's what we're doing in the first 6 weeks is there's foundations, but we're also bringing in foundations training. But we're also going to be bringing in experts on various topics based on the needs and the goals of this community, of this pod. I couldn't be more excited. And so each of you, if you've decided that you want to drive change, if you've decided that you're ready to truly transform, this is how we're doing it. This is what it looks like. So step 1 in your transformation is to identify a goal, to identify a dream, to have a why. You've heard there's several books called Start With Why. Start with you starting with your purpose, your mission, your vision, a goal, something that is bigger than you. So think about that. What do you want to accomplish? So for me, like I said, I'm helping people live their best life, have their best year, have their best, become their best selves, right? That's part of it. Help their organizations, help their businesses to basically 10x your goals. Think big. Know that you can accomplish more. So I'm going to help you identify your saboteurs, the things holding you back. I'm going to help you identify those things on how you can move forward. That's what this is about. So if you believe that you could accomplish anything, if someone told you that you really can accomplish anything, let's talk about what that would look like. For me, I believe more than anything, I believe that I'm going to be able to make significant changes in the areas of equity and inclusion in a time where, it's not even at the top of the list. Matter of fact, we're going backwards in some ways. And I'm saying, not on my watch. This is about being the change that we want to see. So what you get to do is decide, what change do you want to see? What am I going to do every day to show up with success? Now, the simplest thing on the how you're going to be able to achieve your goals is identify a goal, have a vision, be very clear what you want to see in your future. Identify a plan the work and work the plan, right? We're going to go deeper with some more positive intelligence stuff, but today I want to just keep it simple. Because if you don't have a goal, if you haven't started with a vision, then we clearly have nothing to build upon. So basically start with, what do you want to see accomplished? So I'm going to help a bunch of people to live their best life. I'm going to help a bunch of people to create new skills that will influence everyone in their ecosystem, everyone that touches them, home, work, and school. It's so exciting. But we're also creating an inclusive culture where everyone can thrive. How cool is that? An inclusive culture, truly inclusive. And as if that wasn't enough, we're also in this process creating systems change. You change systems when people transform. You change systems when you create a new operating system, a new success strategy around how are we going to measure our own success. So that's what positive intelligence allows us to do, right? We talked about the saboteur assessment, right? Well, you get to look at and think about the things that might sabotage your success. You also get to focus on what might actually improve your life. And so we've talked about these 5 superpowers, but I really want to pause and really focus on each of them one by one. So if we have 5 superpowers and we know that success is based on choices that we make, what I'm doing, and this is actually the title of one of my next books. I'm putting it out there. It's Choose You. Choose you. And so what I've been doing for my own personal success is choosing me as it relates to my own physical wellness. If I had to be fully transparent, I've talked about losing weight for a good decade. I haven't been this heavy I've seen my weight consistently go up. I'll start there. A little bit over time. And I've kind of talked about losing weight, but it really has not been a priority of mine. I think I look really good. Big girls. we think we look good anyway, right? But when I think about my physical well-being, as you all know, I had a stroke on Christmas Day, so sound like I might need to get activated in a different way. Sounds like I might need to focus on the food that I'm consuming and other things. So my wellness is my personal quest. There's kind of two things. The number one, I have to put me first because I haven't, right? I've been pouring into this nonprofit organization, really doing everything I could to help people to just do the right thing. It doesn't always work, though. You're going to have high hopes that people are going to do the right thing. And even when they don't, it's like, I just got to keep it moving. Do the next best thing I can and keep it moving. It's like, it's so funny. It's part of I'm actually doing a TED Talk as well. So part of the language is just keep it moving, right? Just keep it moving. So if things don't work out the way you think they should, then the first thing that positive intelligence teaches us, it's really the sage perspective. And I could give you all kind of examples of things that have not worked out the way I hoped that they would. But the sage perspective says, and this is scientifically based, the sage perspective says that every situation, every problem, everything, and every with a capital E-V-E-R-Y, all capital letters, can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. Now, if you believe that, that means you show up to the situation differently. Again, I'm not giving you the PQ textbook, right? Even though these are the basics, this is all you really need to know. Show up differently, believe that you can, right? Have a clear goal. And adapt this sage perspective as step one, and then we'll talk about your sage superpowers. So if the sage perspective is that everything can be turned into a gift or an opportunity, and that means you're looking for the gifts. You're like, okay, I can believe that. Even if you don't know what they are, you just got to start there. Because if you're like, you know what, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Now you believe that it's the worst thing that could have ever happened to you. The words that we say, this is both scientific and spiritual, people. I'm just saying both things can be true. It's based on all the science, 4 key areas of detailed science, but it's also spiritual, y'all. Hello. Power in the tongue. That's spiritual. There's power in the words that we say. So I wake up and be like, this too is a gift. This too will work out for my good. Right? You understand what I'm saying, right? Believing. That's what living powerfully really is about, is believing that things will work out for you. Now, once you believe it, then there's some steps on how you get there. We're gonna talk about the steps when we come back, because what I want to do is give you 3 examples of why and how this works. You guys remember Superman? Christopher Reeves, old school Superman. Christopher Reeves was an actor. He played Superman. Now he had this tragic accident where he fell off a horse and was paraplegic. And when he talks to reporters, he says, in hindsight, best thing that could have ever happened to him, his focus, his family focus, all the things. He's like, based on where his life could have gone, he's like, I am grateful for where I am right now. These are choices that we get to make. You could also say, oh, woe is me. Different life. When you talk about being grateful, when you celebrate the successes in your life, that is how you thrive. That's part of the living powerfully equation. Now, when we come back from break, we're going to talk about the other 5 superpowers. So let me just give you another example. Do you remember, you guys heard of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving? A woman's daughter was killed by a drunk driver. Now, I'll tell y'all something else in a minute. But her daughter was killed by a drunk driver, and horrible experience. No one would want that for anyone. But what she did as a result of that, the gift that she found in that was she founded an organization called MADD, M-A-D-D, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It was a campaign in high schools, colleges, that was really focused on the dangers of driving while drinking. Remember those commercials that says, friends don't let friends drive drunk? That didn't exist. That wasn't like the popular thing to say. This woman was like, this is my new mission. This horrible thing happened to me. I can't bring my daughter back, but I can prevent this tragedy from happening to any other family. How beautiful is that? To turn a tragedy into a triumph, to save lives, to live powerfully, to be on a mission. Like, hey, this thing happened. I can't control certain things you can't control, but what you can do is change the lives of others. Assume that this too is going to be the best thing that could have ever happened to you. This too can be turned to a gift and an opportunity. Remember we talked about the 3, just as a beginning, the 3 types of gifts? And you've heard the term KPI. So like the gift of knowledge, the gift of P, the gift of power or perspective, the gift of I, KPI, the gift of information, insights, right? You're improved based on whatever has happened. Like something good is going to come out of it. You're going to be stronger as a result. They say, well, don't kill you makes you stronger. What they really mean is if in the moment something horrible has happened or something just is not what you thought it should be, if you know, if you pivot, if you decide, and these are decisions, people, if you can believe with your heart and decide in moment by moment that whatever is happening in your life, this too is going to lead to something marvelous. This can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. That's scientific. If you believe it, then what's going to happen is you're going to filter out the bad things and you're going to be like laser focused on like what can be the things. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about the steps that you take to actually make anything that's happening in your life become a gift. That's how it works. I think we're going to be coming up on a break soon. I'm going to let the music start and then I'm going to stop talking. But let me just say, stay with me and come back. Think about your goal and we're going to make it happen. Thanks.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not using my GPS to navigate the land of 1,000 dances, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth is having financial security and not having to worry about it for yourself, your immediate family, and future generations. It's a very elusive idea to me personally because it's not something in my immediate experience, and it's only something that I'm learning about a little bit more in theory and knowing or trying to know if that's like a real possibility for someone like me.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio World. Create your generational wealth for you and the future of your families.
Hey, this is Paul Pearson. I've hosted the R&B show Star Time since the very beginning of Rainier Avenue Radio, and after years of featuring tracks from the 50s through the 80s, Star Time now plays R&B and hip-hop from the 1990s as well. A whole half-century of soul, funk, hip-hop, and more on Star Time, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio World. Join your hosts Violetta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African-American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
I don't know why. I love this so much. I just like the music. I like the Okay. I just got a very positive feedback from the audience. I'm so happy. So right now I'm just talking, y'all, because we're here for you, right? We're here to create the life that I want you all to have. So anyway, so we talked about choosing a goal, choosing something that you know is going to create the life that you want. So if you woke up this morning and someone told you, oh my God, I only have 30 days left to live or 60 days left to live, what would you do? Let's let that land. Did you hear what I just said? If someone told you you had 30 days left to live or 60 days left to live, how would you feel about that?
Wow.
Sound effects. Thanks. Right? It's like you got to pause and say, would you feel like crap? I've wasted so much time. Now, what am I going to do in these next 30, 60 days? Or would you be like, you know what, the last 3 months, the last 6 months, the last year, I've been doubling down on everything I thought I wanted to deliver. I know why I was put on this earth, and every day I show up walking in that purpose. Hello? Raise your hand if that's you. Yeah, I can see you. You see you, right? You know when it's true. You know when it is, when you're walking in exactly the path that you should. You know it. And if that's not you, if you would be feeling some kind of, let me just be clear. I had a stroke on Christmas Day last year. That's part of the reason I'm doing this show for free, because I'm like, I'm not leaving anything on the table. He didn't take me, so I'm going to do my part. Double down on doing my part. I'm going to double down. So all the gifts, all the things we have and that we know to be true, here's what we're asking you to do. Decide that from this moment on, I am going to live my best life. I'm going to do exactly what I was. I don't even know. If you're like, hey, I'm not quite sure what my purpose is. I'm actually I'm a consultant as well. I work with some people. One guy actually just told me yesterday, he was like, or Saturday, he was like, I'm not really sure what my purpose is. I don't know. I have a few passions. Are you working in any of them? Are you moving in that direction? Because at the end of the day, stay with me, people. At the end of the day, at the end of your life, You know the truth. You can say what you want to say to me. You can say what you want to say to you, but you know in your heart what's true about, are you showing up fully? Are you showing up fully for the people in your life? Are your kids getting the leftovers? Is your wife getting the leftovers? Do you give it all at work and then come home exhausted and don't really connect with anybody that you see in the home that you live in? Are you really connecting with people? Living powerfully is about being mindful in every moment of the day. Now, I'm going to get to talk about these superpowers, but I just need to pause and make sure we're clear. This is the baseline. This is the foundation. Have some clarity about what you want to accomplish, what you hope to accomplish, what you believe is one of your skills and your gifts. And by the way, if it's a skill, it ain't just for you. Did you hear what I just said? If it's a God-given skill, part of your purpose, it is not just for you.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm easily amused. Thank you. We have the best producer. Anyway, it's not just for you. That's why this is called the Better Together Empowerment Series and the Living Powerfully Experience. So I want to make sure you're clear. We want you to have a personal journey, but we also want you to connect with those around you, right? It is so much better when you do any of this work together. So if you believe for yourself, if you can believe that you were put on this earth for a special reason, we're all unique. Our DNA is so unique, right? Our experiences are so unique. There's no other person on this planet like you. And you've been gifted with probably multiple skills. So it ain't like, oh, you know, they talk about the, there's one person in all the billions of people that I don't know if there's just one. I don't know if I believe that. She's like, I don't know if there's just one thing that you're meant to do, but you know what the thing is, what the next thing is for you to do, right? You don't have to spend decades trying to write the great American novel when you haven't even wrote this. You have to write a 1,000-page novel. Write a 100-page book and get it out and get something into the universe, right? If that's your thing, right? If you want to accomplish a thing, don't wait. You're not promised tomorrow. None of us are. But if you have a goal, if you have an aspiration, if you believe, you know what, I love to do X, whatever the X is for you. That's how we truly live powerfully. You do the thing you love. You know, again, these little quotes are true when they say, do what you love and you never work a day in your life. It's true. It's true. There's a Japanese term called ikigai. It's Ikigai, right? And it's about living your full potential. It's about living your best life. And this is how you do it. You find something that you love to do. I'm going to draw with my hand 4 concentric circles somehow, right? If the first circle is what you love to do, what you do well is circle number 2. Circle number 3, which is connected as well, is you're fulfilling a need. That's back to the better together part. It ain't just about you. You're doing what you love. You're doing something that you do well. You're doing something where there's a need that you're fulfilling in the universe, in your community, in your family. There's a need that you're fulfilling. And then the 4th circle is where you can get paid. That when you connect that one, that's the one I'm working on right now. For some reason, I think I need to put all my information in the streets for free, but it's okay. I'm working on the other part too. But really being in a position where you can do what you love, or something that you do well, right? And then a place where you're fulfilling a need in the universe. That's living powerfully. That's how you connect with others who are in your space, others that are here for you. Stay with me now. Okay, so now that you've thought about for yourself, what would I want people to say about me if this really was my last day? What would you want people to say about you?
Oh my.
Scaring me in a good way. What would you want people to say about you on if this was your last day, like at your funeral, Let's just pause. Sounds a little morbid, but I promise it's not. It's meant for your good. So just look forward at your funeral. Let's just say it's 100 years from now. Nobody's dying today. Okay, I didn't mean that. Let's just say, looking forward, right? What would you want people to say about you at your funeral? That's how you should live every day. She was so what? He was so what? He always what? He was living in his purpose what? He helped so many people by. Fill in the gap. This is your story. You get to write the story of your life. You get to write the story that has you truly living powerfully and have you creating a better world, you being the change that you want to see in this world. So much shenanigans is going down, but we get to decide how we're going to contribute to others. That's what the Better Together Empowerment Series and the Living Powerfully experience is all about. Now, I'm going to have my amazing producer tell me if he wants me to show any slides, because I do have some, or if you want me to just keep talking. And it's all good either way. But three things. And I'm going to share myself. You just tell me if you think it's a good idea. So we have a couple of things. So I said from the beginning, right? You get to decide what you want your life to be. What do you want people to say about you at the end of your life? And that's how you live every day. Show up for yourself and show up for others. So if you've now identified how you want to live, you've identified, gee, I want people to remember me for, I want to leave a legacy. I want to know that my nieces are going to have a better world than the one that I'm in right now. Right. So when I talk about my, someone said, what is it? Connection before content. So if you want to connect with me and talk about my destiny, my legacy, the legacy I'm leaving, it is about helping people to live their best life. That's easy for me. That's easy. I coach people every day. Traci, this is what I do. It's all bigger than me.com. Please, Traci, Tracin. It's all bigger than me.com. That's how you can find me. That's what I do. It's easy. It's easy to find me. But what's not easy is actually showing up and doing the not easy stuff. So what I'm also going to do, an area that I left hanging, is I'm actually going to do a live as a part of this show for the next 6 weeks and into the next 6 months probably, is a journey of my personal transformation. One of weight loss, one of my business, right? All the things. Like, I'm putting it out there. We're going to let other people come in and talk about their journeys as well, because when you see that someone else has done a thing that you too can do, we're going to talk about what we're doing and how we're doing it as well. So this is about engaging you. So you can't move forward until you now have a goal. Until you've now decided, you know what, I do want better for myself, and I don't want to get to the end of my life and wish I had done something differently. Okay, let me tell you about your superpowers now before we go. So we started the show by saying the sage perspective, which means your living powerfully perspective, is very simple. No matter what is happening in your life, you get to decide that this is going to work out for my good. You get to decide that this can be turned into a gift or an opportunity, right? It's like the pain. Whenever you're feeling some negative energy, pause. Right? That's probably one of your saboteurs. And we're going to go, we talked last week. Was it last week? We talked about the saboteurs. And I'm going to have everyone who's part of our series, we're going to have all of them do their saboteur assessment and come and talk about their saboteurs and kind of what has, resonated with them the most, so that each of you can also kind of, again, there's a free saboteur assessment I've shared on the show many times. Go back into the Rainier Avenue Radio and check it out. We've talked about the saboteur assessment. We have all that stuff. You can go to SeattleBlackMBA.org. Again, I'll put it here, Seattle. Actually, I'll let you put it here. Seattle Black MBA. You got it. SeattleBlackMBA.org. And basically, you can see all the links and all the past stuff. But right now, what I'm asking you to do is to decide what you want your future to look like. Again, it's November. You don't have to coast through the rest of the year. We're going to make sure that you're going to end this year going just like this. Up, 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 up. So then as you get to 2024, it's going to be like, ain't no stopping us now, baby. Free your mind and success will follow. That's the theme for the show. Free your mind and success will follow. So this is how we free our mind. We decide that I can do great things. We decide that no matter what's happening, no matter about the pandemic, what I could still choose to make this day my best day. Because when you choose it, when you say the words out loud, you actually can yell it and be like, this is amazing. So you're supposed to do some little celebration when you made a decision that's aligned with your goals, right? You do a celebration so your brain is like, okay, we like that. We're going to do more of that. So, Tony Robbins and all these, Les Brown and the people who are, this is what they've done for decades. The reason he has you jumping up and down and, cheering, it's because it's scientifically proven that your brain loves a good celebration when you take an action, because then it's like, I want more of that. Does that make sense? I want more of that. So it's like using the power of your brain. That's what this is all about. You get to decide. So you decide on how you want to live. You decide on what you want to do, how you want to show up in the world. You decide that no matter what happens, it is a gift and an opportunity. And we talked a little bit about these before, but I'm going to put my 5 fingers up and see if I can make that happen. There's 5 superpowers that are related to this positive intelligence and how you can live powerfully. And number 1 is this concept of empathy. Empathy. So I got a couple of things I could share. So I'm going to see if I can pop this in real quick. Let's see, I'm going to present slides. Maybe not. Okay, I think I won't. So what we want for you to know is there's 5 various goals, things that you can do when you come into those moments that we call the events, right? When there's an event that happens, you get to intercept the saboteurs and say, nope, I'm not going to go down that path. Right? I'm not going to go down the negative path. I'm going to choose this other path. So I'm going to do something that allows me to actually have my peak performance, to have peace of mind, to have healthy relationships, because I'm going to navigate. I'm going to think differently about how this is going to really show up for me. So remember last time, I think it was actually several times, we've talked about the 3 core muscles that we're asking you to focus on with the Living Powerfully experience. This is part of positive intelligence, right? You're going to intercept the saboteurs, those voices that don't focus on your goals, those voices that want to sabotage you, that tell you you're not worthy, that make you focus on the shiny object and not what your priorities should be. You know what I'm talking about. We call that intercepting the saboteurs, and there's a whole process for that. There's a little quiz you can do. We got that. The other step is this idea of enhancing your sage superpowers, right? So really amplifying that prefrontal cortex of your brain to generate your highest success. And it's really by moving past these saboteurs. We talked about what they were, and really focusing on brain activation, being mindful in the moment, pausing. If you normally would do something, if you're feeling some kind of negative energy and anxiety, stop. Just pause. That is part of the solution. I know it's super simple. We call them PQ reps, but it's really about being mindful, breathing. If you just stopped and breathed, took 3-4 deep breaths when you're feeling some negative energy and decided, repeat it out loud, that this too will benefit me. This, whatever is happening, this too, there's going to be a gift and an opportunity in it. And I can't wait to figure it out. Smiles, right? You decide. You're not going down. You're not going to allow any negative energy to land longer than 10 seconds. It's your clue. Cue and clue. It's both of those things. Right? When you have a negative emotion, a negative feeling, I see you, but I'm going to choose to not even go there right now. I'm going to focus on the gift and the opportunity that could come from this moment. That's super exciting, right? That to me, it's everything. And so if you're able to listen, look at something deeper, closer, if you're outside, taking in nature, if you're listening to some sound, you're breathing and you're taking it in, you're either listening, you're smelling, you're just being more present in the moment. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of you actually having a different outcome. It's the beginning of you actually living powerfully. It's that pause. If you could create a greater degree of self-command, your life would be totally different. Your positive emotions would be way more activated than any negative emotions, right? Your peace and your calm, your focus, your creativity, all those things operate when your sage side of your brain, the right side of your brain, is activated. We call it, that's the thrival side. You got a survival side. That's where the negative thoughts show in. Show up. But we want you to be focused on the positive. So again, if every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift or an opportunity, then that means it's all going to be great. Not great, but it's all going to be amazing. Say it out loud, like it's going to be wonderful, right? Believe it, say it, and then create it. Hello?
Wow.
You get to decide, right? Choose you and do it with a level of energy and activation. Like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Now, let me just be clear. If somebody has been aggravating you on a regular basis, and I understand, you're like, that is a gift or an opportunity. This, really? Yes. And I'm going to give you a little clue about the 5 steps that you can do, right, to actually believe it for yourself. So step 1, right, the process, the tools that you can use. You may not need all 5, but in the worst case scenario, you just might. So we're going to talk about all 5 today. So it's empathize. Oh my God, I'm almost out of time. I got to go fast. So empathize is really step 1. So say you have a negative experience. Someone at work has gotten on your last nerve, and you're going to actually empathize. You want to try to understand the other person's feelings, their needs, their desires, right? But you also want to empathize with yourself. Like that's number 1, right? Empathize with yourself. Sometimes we beat ourselves up. Man, I shouldn't have done that. Man, I shouldn't. Hey, empathize with yourself. Aww. And then empathize with the other person. Put yourself in their shoes. I know people say this all the time, but it really is true. When you empathize with someone else, right, then you know, it's like their motivations. They're not out to get you, especially if you've already believed the first thing, the sage perspective, which is everything is going to be turned, it's going to be, can be turned into a gift or an opportunity, which means it's all going to work out for your good. So you're empathizing with yourself, you're empathizing with someone else, and then you're going to explore. Now you're saying, okay, I just need a little bit more information. So if they kind of irked you, made you feel uncomfortable, something bad has happened, something has happened, you're like, okay, hold it, please. I'm just going to pause. I'm going to breathe, shake out my shoulders, and remind myself everything is going to be amazing. I'm saying it because I believe it, because I'm going to create it for myself. So I'm going to empathize first. Then I'm going to explore. I want to discover some more information. Before you decide to do anything, before you decide on some solutions, just if you're empathizing with the person and you're like, well, maybe, like, remember, you've heard this before, like if someone cuts you off in traffic, you're like that, letters and words could come out of your mouth. I can't believe that. But what if that person was racing to the hospital with someone in their life? So assume the best. What if? They're exploring these different factors that could be contributing to what feels like a problem, the person that almost ran you off the road. That doesn't have to ruin your day. Hey, I will send you some positive wishes. I hope you get there safely and whatever's going on in your life is resolved well. Now, a problem could have occurred. It could have pissed you off. You could have been mean all day and felt some kind of way. But no, I decided on something different. So now then you're going to innovate. Like, what are the possible solutions or the possible gifts that could come out of it? That's the innovation. Now you're thinking about, okay, it's this, I could do this, I could do that, whatever. You got ways that you can innovate. Let me see how much time I got. Daniel, help me out here. How much time do I have? What time are we officially off? I got a few minutes. Okay. I'll come back and look. So if you got the 5 skills, you're going to empathize, you're going to, okay, I don't see it yet. But you're going to empathize, you're going to explore, right? We call it becoming a curious anthropologist. I just need some information. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging me. I just need some information. Because tell me a little bit more about that. That person said something. So tell me, why are you feeling that way? I feel like you're upset, right? Someone's coming to you yelling. I'm so sorry that you're upset. Tell me a little bit more about what's the source of that. How can I just want to learn a little bit more about maybe how can I help you, but you want to explore and ask questions. Then you're going to innovate possible solutions. Well, I thought you said blah, 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 blah. And instead this happened. Oh, so you were hoping for some help on this thing. Well, let's generate some possible solutions. I'm not available today, but maybe, right? You're innovating. You're thinking together. Maybe I can do this other thing. I'm just trying to tell you how you can make a situation, everything work out for your good. Then the next number 4 step is to navigate. It's like, choose a solution that aligns with your values, your mission, and your purpose. Choose a solution that aligns with what you want people to say about you, what you want to say about yourself at the end of your life, at the end of the week, at the end of the day, at the end of the hour, right? Navigate forward. Like if you're confused in the moment, breathe and then navigate. How do I want this to end? What's really important? What's really important? Is this thing really important? Like what can I do differently? So you're navigating and then you're activating. That's your last step, right? When you're ready you've done all those things, you've empathized, you've explored, you've asked the questions, you got more real information, you've innovated on possible solutions and gifts and opportunities, you've navigated forward and you're like, okay, I know this is aligned with who I am as a person, what I want to be, how I want to show up in the world. And then you activate. Then you're in a position to take fearless, calm, clear-headed actions. You love that? That's living powerfully, people. It's just that simple. But first, it starts with you choosing a goal, you deciding how you want to show up in the world, and then making sure that moment by moment, these choices are aligned with what you just stated you want. And if there's something you want to accomplish, then every day, do at least one thing. Do at least one thing. Thank you. Do at least one thing that is going to allow you to move toward that goal 1 inch. If you took one step every day toward your goals, if you did that every day for the next 6 weeks, every Monday, y'all better have 7 things you've done because you did 7 days from Monday to Monday. So now today, you're deciding what you want to accomplish in the next 6 weeks. And then every day, I'm going to have y'all start putting in the chat. We're going to start being a lot more active online. So you can tell us, like, what did you do? What did you accomplish? What did you accomplish? How did you move forward toward that goal? One thing every day. Just one. Just one. Just one. So I got 1 minute left, and this is how I want to end. I want to end with a calm reminder that you really are in control of the life that you want to live. The living powerfully experience is the one that you create. And the good news is over the next 6 weeks, we get to co-create it together. I'm going to provide you free right here on Rainier Avenue Radio tools. We got 45, 50 people that are going to be going through a thing. They got a $1,000 program that they're going to be going through as well. So now, not only me, we're going to be taking you on a journey and inviting you to join us. So right now, today, I just want you to decide that I am going to live powerfully, that I'm going to show up every week right here on Better Together and Living Powerfully, right here free on Rainier Avenue Radio. And I'm going to live my best life starting now. Y'all, I love this space. I love each of you, and I'm living my best life just by showing up for you. So you got this. Thank you. Next, we have Lidline Sports. Yes, hosted by Pepino. I love it. And I do love it. I watched one of the best games. It was UW against the guy who won the Heisman Trophy. That was a really high game. Anyway, I'll be watching Lidline, y'all. So join us watching Lidline next on Rainier Avenue Radio. Thanks.